Hi, I'm Gail Stallings, and I am a benefit auctioneer. I own my own company called Fun Auctions. I have been in the event industry for over 25 years and in the auction industry for about 15 years. I have been with NACE Austin for about 2.5 years, and I was inducted onto the board in January of this year.
Awesome.
My name is Josh Hampson. I work with My Event is the Bomb. We're previous NACE regional sponsors. I have been in the event industry off and on since I was about 15. I owned my own DJ business. Kind of left for a little bit when I graduated college, and now I'm back here, of course. Glad to be back. I have been in NACE since July of 2017, so about 2.5 years. I've been on the board since mid-2018. So about 2 full years there. So super excited to be on the call today. Super excited to win the October membership special.
And best membership co-chair ever, right here. This one. We're a good team.
Yeah, that's awesome. So to get talking about the fall membership campaign. So obviously, I sent you guys an email kind of letting you know, when it's going to start, what's the deal, what's the offer, and how did you guys kind of tackle that? What was your plan moving forward with the membership campaign?
Well, I think that the thing that was really helpful for us was we started early. We started promoting in August and kind of building up that hype. We talked about the campaign. I'm sorry.
Josh gets stoked up when we talk about it. It's okay.
Meeting. Yeah. And then talked about the membership campaign again at our fundraiser in September. And then finally closed the deal at our October meeting. And then after that, I think we had almost half of our new members join after the October meeting.
And it was a dark and stormy night. So for people to come out, you knew they were serious about learning about NACE.
Yeah, I think another really helpful thing that we did in our messaging is we made it really easy for people to sign up. So whenever we would email prospective new members, we included the link directly to the join page, as well as the promo code that they could use to sign up. So instead of making them go hunt and search for different things, we made it as easy for them to access as possible.
And we did that within 24 hours after they attended the meeting. So
that's awesome.
So for some of them, it was like 8 a.m. the next morning. Man, I'm typing out the hey, remember me?
Yeah. So it's really about the follow through. Follow through is number one. Yeah. And making sure you stay in constant contact with the people you just saw. So you're like, hey, remember me? You said you're going to join NACE. Like that's what you want to do. So were there any challenges when it came to the membership campaign? Did you struggle, and how did you guys kind of overcome that?
I think one of our challenges was, I think like you have to treat this like a business. Mm-hmm. And Josh and I are both data kind of people. And I wanted to say, what have we done on previous membership campaigns? What type of events? Are they producing the kind of results that we want? And so we looked at, it was the traditional happy hour.
Right.
And
in the past.
And so we said, in trying to do 2 events in 1 month, which October and April are probably every event professional's busiest months of the year.
Right.
So it's like, I don't know if we can squeeze in a second event, but why don't we really focus on the October NACE meeting and really giving people the full experience of the education, the leadership, the decor, the food, the program, the networking versus going to a happy hour.
Right.
We didn't have the time for it personally. I didn't.
But we did that, we realized that with that happy hour, we were either going to have to spend money or we were going to have to ask a venue or bar, restaurant to sponsor that.
Mm-hmm.
Being that it's so busy in October, we decided, like she said, to knock everything down to just one event. And what we did to maximize that event was to offer a promo code to allow prospective new members that we invited to come at the member rate. So that was really helpful. We had like 75% prospects at that meeting as opposed to members. So
yes,
we had
That's great.
Yeah, we had a huge turnout.
We were busy that night. We were cloning each other.
So did you both primarily work on the membership? Did anyone else from the NACE Austin leadership help out? Was there a full team board effort? What was?
Yeah, it was a whole chapter effort.
Yes.
We needed buy-in from each different committee in various different ways. So we had our social media chairs, Michelle and Louise. Michelle was kind of transitioning Louise into taking on communications at the time that the membership campaign was happening. So they both spearheaded all of our messaging. Michelle really worked on the social media to help get the word out online and get the buzz going and people talking about it, while Louise focused on the emails and reaching out to our lapsed members. We used Michelle Schwartz, our president, as our closer.
Yep.
So after we had been talking to people, since the middle of August, trying to get them pumped up and excited about the event, at the end, the middle of November, we noticed that we just had a lot of people that were talking about joining.
Right.
So what we did is pass them on to Michelle to kind of make that like presidential close.
Right.
And she would come in and really seal the deal and, get them excited to join NACE. And then not last, but another group that helped us was our programs committee, Natalie and Des. They organized some really amazing monthly events that got people excited to see NACE and what we had to offer, and honestly made it a no-brainer for them to join.
And we kept our board informed every week during the campaign, even if it was only through Slack. We're like, okay, we're in second place right now. We know I can do it. Come on, keep inviting people to these meetings. And so just that little bit, it wasn't a long communication, but it was enough to keep it on top of everyone's mind without being like, oh no, they're at it again, asking us to ask people. But I think it was effective to do it that way also.
Yeah, and also other members of the board were constantly dripping people into our inboxes and saying, hey, I talked to them, they might be interested. Make sure you invite them out, or make sure that you at least send them some collateral or some information about the campaign.
That's fantastic. So when it comes to lapsed members, is there anything that you struggled with in terms of talking to them? Did anyone have any sort of, hesitation about coming back, and how did you kind of turn that around, or did that happen?
I don't think that we experienced a lot of issues with lapsed members.
Uh-huh.
I think we need to look at the data.
Yeah.
About that. I think that we're still recovering from the month of October.
I'm sure.
So now that we have this little break, it's like I do want to go back and look to see, because it's like one of the members that joined, she said she's been being asked for the past 2 years.
Right.
And it wasn't until that stormy night in October when, it's a small event world here in Austin. And yet she goes, yeah, I've seen you at 6 different events. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I know you. And says, well, you sit next to me at this meeting. And then I just would not let her go. She was one of our vendors at that meeting.
Oh yeah.
And when she needed help carrying all the florals out to her car, I said, Josh, come on, you're helping me with her. We are not letting her do this on her own, because we want to tell her we're going to treat her like a family. And this is how we help each other. And she signed the next day. So
yeah, before I even got into work the next day.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. So, I see you guys work well as a team. Do you have any recommendations for, the incoming membership chairs at other chapters, and how to get other people involved or work well as a team within their board?
So I think that the biggest, most important thing is building relationships. Whenever I joined Gail as one of the co-chairs, she had already been in the position prior with Morissette, and they came up with a really awesome acronym at last year's board retreat, and I'm going to let her explain that because I honestly think that this was the key to our success.
Josh, stop it. So we realized at the board retreat that, you can go to meetings and you walk in and no one knows you. They don't pay attention to you. You're just another person there. So we said, well, let's come up with this acronym. So we came up with HOW, H-O-W. And the HOW stands for if a prospect came to the meeting or a new member who hadn't been, very long, first would be, how did you hear about us? And that would be one of us asking that. So that's the H. The O was one introduction. So we would find out what their interests were and could we have a board member or someone else in their industry that they wanted to meet, make one introduction at that meeting. And then W is make them feel welcome, like you really want them to be there. And so that was our very simple formula at start of every meeting.
Yeah. The one introduction is huge because we come for networking and we come for community. I get that so much when I ask people, why are you here? And it's not always education, which is my personal favorite thing. But so many people are looking for a community to fit into. And I think in Austin, we have such a vibrant community of people that even in the same industry who you would even think might be competitors, so to speak, that are really good friends and that learn from each other and share ideas. And so that is so, so important to give them a reason to continue to.
I joined, which I remember when Michelle Schwartz asked me to my first NACE meeting 2.5 years ago, and she started talking about leadership. Oh, all the leadership opportunities you're going to be given. I'm like, I don't need any more leadership opportunities. Well, here I am. And all of a sudden you realize that it's like, wow, just bring the skills that you have and use them. And I don't try to do what Josh really does well, which he does the back end of the website or the database really well. I can do it, but man, it takes me a lot longer. But I can make sure I get those emails out after each meeting. So so it's just like we work really well like that. And so I think that's part of being a good leader, and leadership is also bringing other people along with you and making everyone feel like they're responsible for our success.
Yeah. Another thing that we did that really helped close Jonah and Brianna was getting them on a committee before they even joined NACE. So when Jonah
closer.
When Jonah first started coming to meetings in September, I believe. No, it would have been August.
Yeah.
He expressed that he's coming from Dallas. He was a member of ILEA in Dallas, and he was on the board there. As he moved here, he wanted to be sure to, get involved in an organization. He expressed to me that he wanted to be on a committee. And immediately I was like, well, we need help. Let's just loop him in and start using him. And I invited him to one of our committee meetings. He came and had some really awesome ideas
that we are going to implement in January.
And so we looped him in, got him kind of involved. He joined during the membership campaign, and now he'll be our incoming hospitality chair.
Yeah.
So it's really nice. We kind of hooked him before he even knew that he was getting hooked, I guess.
But Josh is doing that with the whole chapter. He came up with all of the committee opportunities. And then we're just putting it out to the committee chairs and saying, do you need help? And here's a person that's expressed help. So Josh has come up with this whole committee thing that Michelle Schwartz has really asked us to before the end of your term, next year,
right?
Let's get these committees in place. So we feel really good about that.
Yeah, committees has been huge. I think in the past, people have kind of had the mindset that they would do everything on their own,
Mm-hmm.
or not really want to share that workload. And I'll be honest, like with as busy as I am and as busy as Gail is, as busy as all of our other co-chairs in the chapter are, you can't do it all by yourself. And
right.
you can kind of trickle that idea into people's brains that like, you're going to do a little bit of work now, you're going to do a little bit of work now. And then, you know, a year down the road, they're the chair of a committee, and they're fully bought in on the process and the chapter. It's just, you have to get it started, which is the hardest part.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Well, do you guys have any other feedback, any other recommendations, anything you can think of that would help any other chapter leaders that are struggling with their membership campaigns?
So I think the one thing we realize is that if you're going to spend money on something, then make sure you're getting the return that you want on it. And that's where we go back to saying, treat this like a business, look at the data, and that, you know, we really feel that for the cost of what it was for a member, a prospective member to come there at a member rate, it really wasn't costing us anything. Because you're still going to pay for that meal, but it really gave someone an incentive. Instead of paying, you know, $65 to attend, they paid $35. And it was, I feel, a really good investment to do that.
That's great. That's fantastic. Josh, anything from you?
I think it's just like she's saying, look at the data. Definitely make strong connections and relationships. You know, when you think about it, this is a sale. People purchase things or are closed on a feeling and on based on their emotions. So you have to really become their friend. And in becoming their friend, you actually really are making friends, building relationships, making your community. And then in turn, making an impact on the organization as a whole.
And I just want to say, and thanking our leadership, Michelle Schwartz and the board, for giving us the freedom to go in the direction that was not the typical way we had been going. And to trust us and say, okay, we'll follow you. And they did.
Yeah, flexibility, teamwork, you know, these are all important skills.
Yes.
Right. Well, thank you both. I appreciate you guys spending time with me today and discussing all of this. I know that this is something that a lot of chapters struggle with, and just hearing it from other leaders really means a lot.
Can we get a photo?
Yeah.
Can you stay on there? Because we want to get this.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to make you full screen.
We'll make you full screen. So
awesome.
What are we doing?
Here, I'm going to hold it up here.
All right.
Oh my God, this is so much fun.
I don't have the arms to do this.
Yeah, I'll do it with mine.
All right, you do it with yours.
Cool.
Thank you. Well, thank you guys so much.
Have a happy Thanksgiving.
You too.